Elon Musk was no stranger to controversy. Whether it was his bold business moves or his unfiltered tweets, he thrived on pushing boundaries. But this time, the controversy found him in an unexpected place, the set of The View on a Thursday morning. As millions tuned in for their daily dose of celebrity gossip and heated political debates, Whoopi Goldberg's words struck a chord that no one saw coming. "We need to talk about Elon Musk," Whoopi began, her voice carrying a mix of frustration and conviction. The co-hosts leaned in, sensing she was about to drop a bombshell. "This man claims to be a champion of free speech, but let's be honest. What he's doing is dangerous. He's not protecting dialogue, he's stifling it. He's a threat to democratic conversation." The audience gasped, murmurs rippling through the studio. Within minutes, clips of her statement were circulating online, trending under hashtags like #GWhoopiEV's Elon and #Free Speech Debate. Supporters and critics alike jumped into the fray. Elon Musk didn't stay silent. Just hours after the segment aired, he fired back with a tweet that sent shockwaves through social media. Whoopi Goldberg's remarks on The View were not only false but defamatory. "Time to put facts above feelings. See you in court, Whoopi." The internet erupted. The idea of one of the world's most influential billionaires suing an iconic Hollywood actress and talk show host seemed surreal, almost scripted for a blockbuster. Yet here it was, real life playing out in the most public of arenas. Behind the scenes, Elon's legal team quickly mobilized, drafting what would become one of the most talked-about defamation cases in modern history. Whoopi, on the other hand, doubled down, standing by her statement with unwavering confidence. Refusing to apologize or retract her statement, Whoopi Goldberg remained defiant. "I'm not afraid of Elon Musk," she said during her next appearance on The View. "If he wants to sue me for speaking the truth, let him try." The tension was palpable. What had started as a heated exchange of words was now spiraling into something much bigger, a clash between two cultural powerhouses. Even as the world debated who was right and who was wrong, no one could predict how far this would go. Whoopi Goldberg's fiery words on The View had ignited more than just a debate. They sparked a cultural wildfire. Within hours of Elon Musk's tweet, social media became a battleground. Fans of both personalities clashed, each passionately defending their champion. On one side, supporters of Musk praised his bold move, hailing it as a stand against the unchecked power of Hollywood elites. On the other, Whoopi's advocates argued she was simply exercising her right to free speech and calling out a billionaire. Mainstream media quickly picked up the story, dissecting every angle. Late-night comedians turned the feud into punchlines, while legal analysts debated the merits of Musk's case. Talk radio and podcasts buzzed with speculation. The debate spilled into workplaces, dinner tables, and even classrooms. Suddenly, everyone had an opinion. But the fallout wasn't limited to Twitter hashtags or TV debates. Both Musk and Goldberg found their personal lives under the microscope. Anonymous sources leaked behind-the-scenes anecdotes, painting wildly conflicting portraits of the two. For Musk, it was stories of a ruthless tech mogul who allegedly used his influence to silence dissent. For Goldberg, it was claims of a diva-like attitude. Sponsors of The View began to feel the heat. Some quietly pulled their advertisements, unwilling to be caught in the crossfire. Others doubled down, issuing statements of support for Whoopi's right to speak freely. Meanwhile, Tesla's stock experienced an unusual dip, with some investors expressing concerns that Musk's latest move might distract from his responsibilities as CEO. The lawsuit itself, still in its early stages, only added to the chaos. Legal documents began circulating online, detailing Musk's claims of reputational damage and lost business opportunities. The filings included an allegation that Whoopi's remarks had directly impacted Tesla's partnership negotiations with a major firm. Whoopi's legal team responded swiftly, arguing that her statements were well within the bounds of opinion and protected under the First Amendment. Some warned that Musk's actions set a dangerous precedent, threatening the right to criticize those in power. Others argued that public figures like Whoopi should be held accountable for spreading misinformation, even unintentionally. The polarization was complete. What began as a comment on a morning talk show was now a full-blown cultural battle, touching on issues of free speech, power dynamics, and the limits of personal responsibility in the age of social media. But as the noise grew louder, a new layer to the story began to emerge. As the legal gears turned, the narrative took a darker, more complex turn. Behind the glossy headlines and Twitter wars, both sides prepared for a confrontation that would become far more than just a lawsuit. It wasn't long before leaks began to surface. Details hinted at something much deeper and more troubling than anyone expected. A bombshell hit the media. An anonymous source revealed the existence of internal emails from The View's production team, suggesting producers encouraged Whoopi to turn up the heat on Musk. If true, it meant her remarks might not have been entirely spontaneous, but rather part of a calculated strategy. Suddenly, the question shifted. Was Whoopi speaking her mind, or was she playing a role in a larger agenda? Whoopi, visibly shaken but defiant, addressed the rumors on air. "Let me be clear. I say what I mean, and I mean what I say. No producer puts words in my mouth," she stated, her tone sharp. But the damage was done. Skeptics on social media questioned her authenticity, while loyal fans rallied behind her with the trending hashtag #LawStandWithWhoopi. Meanwhile, Musk's camp wasn't free of controversy either. Investigative reporters dug into his lawsuit claims, uncovering inconsistencies in the supposed financial losses he attributed to Whoopi's remarks. Critics argued that Musk might have filed the lawsuit more out of spite than genuine harm. Some speculated that the case was a distraction from internal struggles at Tesla and SpaceX, where rumors of employee dissatisfaction had been quietly bubbling. Then came the unedited footage. A whistleblower from The View leaked raw behind-the-scenes video from the day of Whoopi's infamous rant. In the clip, a heated exchange between her and one of the producers painted a different picture. "You want me to go harder on Musk," she snapped. "I'll say what's on my mind, but don't expect me to carry your agenda." The clip spread like wildfire. It was messy, raw, and human, a glimpse behind the curtain of a highly controlled production. For some, it vindicated Whoopi, proving she was standing her ground against manipulation. For others, the clip raised even more questions about the blurred lines between authenticity and performance. The leaked clip added fuel to Musk's argument that the comments were malicious and premeditated. Both camps doubled down, their arguments now more polarized than ever. The courtroom battle loomed closer, and with it, an increasing sense of unease. Whoopi's legal team hinted at a surprise witness, someone who could shed light on what really happened that day on set. Musk's team countered with subpoenas targeting production staff and executives at ABC, raising the stakes even higher. For the average person, it wasn't just about Musk or Goldberg anymore. It was a battle of values. Free speech versus accountability, corporate power versus individual expression. But just when the public thought they had seen it all, the trial's first day revealed something shocking. The courthouse in Los Angeles buzzed with anticipation. Cameras lined the steps, journalists jostled for position, and a sea of protesters waved signs, some decrying censorship, others defending accountability. Inside, the atmosphere was electric. Elon Musk entered first, flanked by his legal team. Dressed in a tailored suit, he appeared calm, though the occasional tightness in his expression betrayed the high stakes. Whoopi Goldberg arrived shortly after, her stride purposeful, a quiet defiance in her demeanor. The room seemed to hold its breath as the two figures, so different yet equally commanding, took their places. The trial began with opening statements. Musk's lead attorney painted a vivid picture of a man wronged, his reputation tarnished by reckless comments. "This is not about stifling free speech," the lawyer insisted. "It's about accountability. Words have consequences, and in this case, those consequences were measurable and damaging." Whoopi's lawyer countered with a passionate defense. "This lawsuit is not about defamation. It's about silencing criticism." Whoopi Goldberg expressed an opinion protected under the First Amendment. "If we can't question the actions of the powerful, what does that say about our society?" As the proceedings unfolded, the courtroom became a stage for some of the most dramatic moments of the year. The production emails from The View were entered into evidence, each line dissected under the unforgiving gaze of the public. Musk's team argued that the emails showed a deliberate effort to harm his reputation, while Whoopi's team claimed they were irrelevant to her personal views. The highlight of the trial came when the surprise witness took the stand. A former producer from The View, someone who had resigned shortly after the controversy erupted, testified. Under oath, the producer revealed that there had been discussions about targeting Musk during production meetings, but stopped short of confirming that Whoopi had been coerced. "She wasn't pressured to say anything," the producer testified. "She had strong opinions and she voiced them." But the most jaw-dropping moment came from Musk's side. His lawyers introduced financial documents showing a sharp dip in Tesla's stock price shortly after the viral clip. They claimed the drop was directly tied to Whoopi's comments, arguing that her words had real, measurable consequences for Musk's businesses. The negative press, Musk's lawyers argued, directly contributed to the financial loss. However, under cross-examination, a financial expert admitted that multiple factors, including a recall announcement, could have played a role. It was a small crack in Musk's case, but one that Whoopi's team seized on. Then came the unedited footage, played in full for the court. The video showed Whoopi standing firm against suggestions from her producers. The footage also included moments of frustration that could be interpreted in multiple ways. The footage left the courtroom divided. Some saw a woman resisting manipulation. Others saw a host willing to push boundaries for ratings. As the trial progressed, the line between plaintiff and defendant blurred. The case was no longer just about Musk and Goldberg. It had become a mirror reflecting society's larger struggles with truth, power, and freedom. But as the verdict loomed, the public's attention turned to one final twist, something hidden in plain sight that would challenge everything they thought they knew. The final day of the trial arrived, and the courtroom brimmed with tension. Reporters furiously typed updates, spectators whispered nervously, and the judge maintained a stern demeanor as the jury filed back into the room. The verdict was near, but no one could predict what it would mean for Elon Musk, Whoopi Goldberg, or the larger cultural conversation they had come to represent. The jury had deliberated for 3 days, poring over evidence, testimony, and arguments from both sides. At last, their decision was in. The four-persons stood, cleared their throat, and read the verdict. In the matter of Elon Musk versus Whoopi Goldberg, we find that the defendant, Miss Goldberg, did not commit defamation against Mr. Musk. However, we also find that certain statements made during the broadcast were irresponsible and contributed to reputational harm. The ruling stunned the courtroom. Whoopi's legal team appeared relieved. While Musk's lawyers exchanged tense glances, the judgment awarded Musk a symbolic $1 in damages. It was a clear message from the jury. While Goldberg's words had consequences, they didn't rise to the level of legal defamation. Outside the courthouse, the reactions were immediate and polarized. Supporters of Musk called the ruling a victory for holding public figures accountable for their words. Others celebrated Goldberg's defense of free speech, pointing out that the jury had essentially cleared her of malice. The symbolic dollar became a rallying cry for both camps, each spinning it as proof of their side's moral high ground. But the true impact of the trial went far beyond the courtroom. The footage, the emails, and the testimony had exposed the intricate dance between media, public figures, and the court of public opinion. For weeks, news outlets dissected the case, using it as a lens to examine broader societal issues. Whoopi, in her first appearance on The View after the trial, addressed the audience with her characteristic bluntness. "I won't apologize for speaking my truth," she said. "But I've learned something important. Words matter. They can inspire, they can heal, but they can also hurt, and we all have to be mindful of that." Elon Musk, meanwhile, took to Twitter to share his own reflections. "The verdict is what it is. What matters is the larger conversation about accountability and free speech. Let's keep talking." Yet the ripple effects didn't stop there. Activists on both sides launched campaigns to raise awareness about the fine line between opinion and defamation. Legal scholars predicted that the case would set a precedent for future high-profile lawsuits. Ordinary people found themselves reconsidering how they engaged with online discourse. For Musk and Goldberg, life slowly returned to normal, though the trial left its mark. Musk's companies saw a renewed focus on transparency, while The View adjusted its approach to controversial topics. The View implemented stricter editorial guidelines, a sign that both sides had learned hard lessons about the power of words in an era where even the smallest comment could ignite a global firestorm. As the dust settled, one truth remained undeniable. In a world where free speech and accountability collide, the cost of speaking out, or staying silent, is something we all share. The courtroom drama between Elon Musk and Whoopi Goldberg wasn't just a legal battle. It was a reflection of the challenges we all face in today's world. It highlighted the power of words, the responsibility of public figures, and the complicated relationship between free speech and accountability. But perhaps most importantly, it served as a reminder of how quickly opinions can divide us, and how crucial it is to seek understanding, even in the midst of conflict. For Whoopi, the trial was a moment of reckoning, a chance to reaffirm her belief in speaking truth to power while acknowledging the weight of her platform. For Musk, it was an opportunity to stand up for what he believed to be an unfair attack, but also a moment to reflect on the complexities of engaging in public discourse. This story teaches us a vital lesson. In a world where information spreads like wildfire, words can inspire, empower, or tear down. We must use them wisely. Free speech is a fundamental right, but it comes with the responsibility to consider its impact. Accountability is essential, but it must not come at the expense of silencing voices that challenge the status quo. So before you post that comment, share that tweet, or speak your mind on a public platform, ask yourself, are my words contributing to a meaningful conversation, or are they fueling unnecessary division? Because in the end, how we choose to use our voices shapes not only our personal reputations, but the collective story of our society. If you found this story thought-provoking, be sure to subscribe for more in-depth explorations of the issues shaping our world. Share your thoughts in the comments. Your perspective matters. And don't forget to like the video to keep these important conversations going, because when it comes to the power of words, we all have a role to play.